5 meeting agenda. Staff, any changes?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I have a few adjustments and additions to the agenda for tonight. The first one you'll see will be for an addition to consent item K. It'll be a memo regarding food trucks at North Memorial. The next addition to the agenda for tonight will be for public hearing item A as well as new business item B. It's an ordinance related to both of those items. The ordinance is the same for each item, so we've just added that to the item for each of those items. And then the last addition is the voucher disbursement report for other business item 11A. The council received all of those in an email. They have printed copies tonight, and updated versions are also in the packet agenda or the agenda packet over by the front door there. So those are my additions for tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Chase. Council, any changes or additions? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. The ayes have it. Next is the consent agenda. Pursuant to council rules, one motion, non-debatable, will approve the recommendation noted. Any member of the council may ask for an item to be taken from the consent agenda for discussion and separate action. Such items removed from the consent agenda shall be considered immediately following approval of the balance of the consent agenda. Staff, any changes there? Okay. Council, any changes to the consent agenda?
Hearing none, I move that we approve the balance of the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. Ayes have it. So what did we approve? We approved the city council meeting minutes from April 1st, 2025. We approved the deputy registrar's monthly financial statements. We approved Robbinsdale Wine and Spirits monthly financial statements. We approved credit card charges and payments for the months of February and March 2025. We improved employee handbook updates. We approved licenses. We approved the authorization of subordinate funding agreement, SFA, with the Metropolitan Council. We approved to authorize the city manager to execute a memo of understanding with AFSCME, AFSCME. And we approved the investment report. And K, we approved North Memorial Manor Park Mobile Food Unit in excess of 10 days a year. Thank you, Chase, for adding that. Okay, so moving on to presentations, we have none. Moving on to public hearings, we have an ordinance adding a new section 1165 to chapter 11, Business and Trade Regulations of the City Code pertaining to the registration of cannabis and lower potency hemp business with related regulations, and repealing section 1160 that regulates, I'm just going to say, THC products.
Yes.
Heather.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Heather Rand. I'm the Community Development Director with the City of Robbinsdale. I'm up here tonight presenting, but I certainly expect perhaps our city manager may jump in if we need clarification. But I wanted you to know I'm up here because what you have in front of you is a draft ordinance, and we're going to have a public hearing on that content. And it does have some planning and economic development focuses, also land use zoning, signs. So if you're wondering why me as a staff person is up here in front of you, that's really the reason. I think as background, it's important to make mention that, again, this is a draft ordinance. It will have a first reading later in your agenda tonight, where you can actually amend or change if you want to and you're so inclined as a city council, the language of the draft ordinance. It will have a second reading. We are suggesting on May 6th, but we'll see how things go tonight.
The meeting back to order for April 15th at 7:20 p.m. So, before the power went out. You were saying.
That's right. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, before the power outage, I was in the middle of presenting as kind of an intro to a public hearing, a proposed ordinance for cannabis products. As I was mentioning, the state legislature approved adult use cannabis to be sold. Also, we're calling now THC products, according to state definition, low potency hemp edible products. So we've weaved this into some ordinance language that could become city code after 2 readings, the first being tonight. That being said, I want the public to know that there has been some good input on this to date. We had a public hearing at the Planning Commission meeting that was publicized in advance, and that was back in February, I think February 20th, where we were talking about zoning and buffers and wanting to not have the new retail cannabis as businesses operating within 300 feet of a school. That body also sent the recommendation to the council that we not include more or larger buffers, such as 1,000 feet that some other cities have done, or having buffers away from, say, public parks, for instance, because the city of Robbinsdale is so developed, and our commercial districts are smack dab pretty much in the middle of our city, and if we had those wider buffers and wanted to establish them, we would basically, in a nutshell, not have any place for the businesses to actually locate. So I just wanted you to know, again, there was that public input. There were also 2 work sessions at the city council level where the city council members gave me as staff individual input on what you thought would be a good fit when it came to this type of regulation for the city of Robbinsdale going forward. And so I have incorporated that input, and Tim has worked with me and our city attorney, Mary Tejan. In fact, we received some additional input from her today. So just really briefly, again, to set up the public hearing, the ordinance allows, based on state law, allows the city to not license but register the businesses that are licensed by the state. In the past, the city was allowed to actually register the lower potency hemp edible or THC products. So this is a change, and we're just acknowledging that in the ordinance language. We are also suggesting that it would be appropriate to locate retail cannabis in our business districts, just as we had allowed with the THC products. So that's downtown business district, both DD1, DD2, which extends a little farther to the south, and then also our commercial district that is along the commercial corridor here with like Robbins Center Mall, going down Botno towards the hospital. So those are B2, B3, B4. There is the opportunity that the state will license also manufacturing of cannabis and hemp products, and we wanted to zone for that. So based on the recommendations from Planning Commission and then having presented this to you as a work session, I was hearing that you wanted in your ordinance for this public hearing tonight and discussion, allowing for that manufacturing businesses or those to be placed in a zone that we are calling business warehouse districts. So it's more industrial. What's interesting about Robbinsdale, though, is again, because we're fully developed at this point, while our comp plan has some guidance for where those types of business or zones could be, business warehouse, we presently don't have any of those zoned. So if an individual wants to set up manufacturing or trucking or those higher intensive uses, they would have to identify a parcel and bring it to the Planning Commission and you to get your input as a city council if you feel the zoning should be changed. Now, our comp plan does guide for a couple locations, but I just wanted to make that clear. I think, last most pertinent point to point out in this tonight before the public hearing is our suggested cannabis ordinance or rules for registering these businesses. I was hearing you want to establish up to 2 the opportunity for 2 of these new cannabis retailers in the city, but to not limit the low-potency hemp edible types of registrations. But again, none of this will happen until the state licenses them first. Then we act. So I just wanted to let you know that our input from our city attorney today, based on the most current information, is that at this point in time, being that the state has not moved forward with the licensing, especially of any of the low potency hemp or THC products, that we not repeal, as I had drafted, yet our language on THC and us licensing those, that we wait until we start to get word that the state is ready to move forward with that type of action. So I was always trying to figure out how is this going to work, and I think we've received now good advice from our attorney to just hold off on that, but move forward with the rest of the language as presented. So with that, I suggest you open the public hearing. I think I've outlined what the language is about. It is posted on the city's website, and then later in the meeting we can talk about more specifics if you have more questions. But let's see if there's anyone that would like to speak to this. With that, I'll sit down.
Any comments from the public? Do I need to make a motion? Open. No.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd recommend you open the public hearing.
All right, well, let's open the public hearing. Do we need to take a vote on this, or? Okay, all those in motion?
I motion to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. All right. Public hearing is open. And I feel, as we don't have anybody who wants to comment, nothing? Okay. Got it. All right. Public.
Mayor, seeing that no one up here to give further public comment, that I move we close the public hearing.
And I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no or nay. All right. Matter is closed. Okay, so discussion.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd recommend that you move on to the next item. You'll note, as Mr. Rand shared, we do have this under new business for further council discussion.
Great. Perfect. All right, well, there's no old business, so let's move on to new business, the reallocation of the 2025 Sanborn Park Playground budget.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So what you have before you here, this is not a formal budget amendment. This is something really by way of transparency that staff wanted to put in front of you. As we're all aware, projects related to within and immediately adjacent of Sanborn Park have become a bit more complicated than we originally anticipated. Not necessarily in a bad way, just ensuring that we're doing things properly, staging them out rather than ripping off the Band-Aid and just going at it too aggressively. We want to be a bit more strategic. So with that, while we've budgeted some funds for some Sanborn Park improvements, including some of the direction provided by the recently completed Parks Master Plan, some of those projects, including the original building, a few other things closer to the where the storm sewer would run through the middle of the park, won't be accessible, won't be projects that we can complete this year. However, to move forward with some other projects, as outlined in your memo here, including some tennis and pickleball, this would allow for staff to move forward with bidding and ordering some of those pieces out. So again, sometimes we do a formal budget amendment. This is recognized through your capital improvement plan, and there's no requirement for us to necessarily do it. Again, it's really just an effort of transparency to show that council supports a bit of readjusting some of the explicit things that were called out, but in staying in line with the long-term goal of some of those updates, in this case, specific to Sanborn. So we would recommend by motion and vote approval of the item, but before we get there, I'm certainly happy to respond to any questions, comments, or concerns.
Council, any comments or questions about the reallocation of the budget?
I guess I'll ask a quick question, just so,
Councilmember Greenberg.
So there is the plan that's been agreed upon that it is comprehensive for all of Sanborn. We're really just focusing in on the aspects that we can change now that make sense, which are tennis courts and pickleball. I know there's like, in that plan, there's horseshoes and there's some other stuff that's in there. I mean, it's like, it seems to me it's just this one part of the project and not any of those changes, any other changes. Is that accurate?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Greenberg, that's fair to say. So maybe I should back up a bit for the benefit of those watching at home. Sort of in tandem is the Parks Master Plan recommendations were coming forward. There was a focus on Sanborn recognizing a lot of opportunity. In recent history, LVT got a lot of attention. This isn't to minimize any efforts towards some of the pocket parks, smaller things that we want to do. Really, the Parks Master Plan is a 10-year layout, but there was a priority, including more details spent on Sanborn. In tandem with that, there's a storm sewer project that literally runs through the middle of the park. This will run into infrastructure work that we had planned for 26 and 27 along shoreline. The original plan was maybe a 2-year plan, 25, 26, to try and do all of it at once. And just, we found that we wanted to pump the brakes a bit and make sure that we did things properly. So to what you're calling out, yeah, this really does itemize, prioritize, sort of off of that line. If you think to the southwest corner of where some current courts sit, this would be the location. This won't be disrupted by any like earthen work we're looking to do, whether related to the storm sewer or other utilities in the area. It's really, it's a bite of the apple that we can take off right now, and then continue with additional projects within the park in the future.
Perfect. Thank you.
Councilmember Wagner?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Tim and Matt and the staff for getting this in front of us. The grants mentioned, proactively pursuing external funding opportunities, including potential grants from Hennepin County and United States Tennis Association. Do you have any sense of timeline for those?
Both the Hennepin County Recreation grants and USTA vary. Some are milestone, some are as funds are available. So what, like we do with a lot of special revenue, including grant funding for parks amenities, we want to be opportunistic. So by this signaling a view of council for things that we've already planned for just maybe a year out, this shows these organizations that we're serious about it. I don't have a hard and fast when we'll find out on some of these, but as soon as something like this gets agreed, we're able to spend more effort towards them.
Great. And then the shifting of kind of moving this to like the western side of the park, does that kind of change the whole, I guess, the vision of the park in general? Since I know some things were supposed to be on the east side, but now they're going to the west. Are there amenities we're going to lose or alter as well besides the tennis court and pickleball court?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Wagner, really the intention here is it's not a one-for-one footprint, but if you can imagine sort of in the southwest corner where the current tennis courts are, that would be the location for the updated. Again, in part, it's not literally right down the middle, but pretty close. The storm water that's going to go through, a lot of earthen work, literally digging this up, putting new infrastructure in. That's a big disturbance. This is far enough away from that pathway to allow for that. So for those that are maybe really familiar with the park, it's not a one-for-one footprint, but it's pretty close. Going forward with what's been projected, with all that community input, doesn't alter any of the other projects. That said, we'll certainly continue to take community feedback on specifics related to the playground, other smaller amenities, ball fields as we go forward.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, with all that, I feel very comfortable supporting this. So thank you.
I have a question about how long is the work do we know, to put in the tennis courts and pickleball courts?
Mr. Mayor, Council, good question. Part of it includes the bidding process, how far out people are. It's sort of in that, I would call it a bit of a sweet spot. It's not so small that we won't get bids. It's not so big that it's going to take people months and months to prep and come do the work. I would think reasonably late summer, early fall. Now, that said, we'd certainly plan this in coordination with any existing events, including whiz-bang days. So all that's TBD on who's available to do the work, but again, I'm quite confident it's something we can get done in the coming months.
Right. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Go ahead, Jason, you're about to say something?
No? We can make a motion.
Yeah, is there a motion?
So, Tim, just to be clear, I'm making a motion to approve the reallocation of 2025 Sanborn Park Playground budget.
That's accurate.
Okay, yep. So I move to approve the reallocation of the 2025 Sanborn Park Playground budget.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. That item is approved. Exciting stuff. Okay. Next, that is, I'm excited about
Yeah,
it.
no, it is
All right.
exciting. No, totally. I agree with you.
Yeah, can't wait to play pickleball. All right. Well, next on the agenda is the first reading of an ordinance adding section 1165 cannabis and LPHE business regulations and repealing section 1160 THC products to the Robbinsdale City Code, Chapter 11, Business and Trade Regulations. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Again, I'm Heather Rand, Community Development Director. This is your first reading of an ordinance. You are required to have a second reading, and as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, we right now have that tentatively scheduled for May 6th. Between now and then, the public can still give input by contacting you directly or contacting city staff. But I want you to know, as of today, no one has provided any additional input other than when we had the public hearing at the Planning Commission level. And then certainly you, as city councilors, have given staff input. Staff also spent a lot of time in developing these ordinances, looking at what other cities have adopted to date, and also checking in with the Minnesota Office of Cannabis Management. And our attorney has been doing the same, because this is very much a changing opportunity when it comes to economic development. As you know, this was not a regulated business in the past, and we're moving in that direction now in the state of Minnesota. While other states have done that, Minnesota now is taking this on. I want you to know I fully anticipate there will be other changes that we will bring forward to you over the next 1 to 2 years as the industry continues to change and we get some feedback on how things are going. But in your first reading, I had highlighted just before the public hearing just some of the notables of what the ordinance does for the public. I wanted to just finish up with letting you know, again, the state will license these entities. We will register them. We're limiting the number of retail businesses for cannabis to 2. That could change in the future if you are so inclined, but 2 for now. We've basically are suggesting where these businesses should be located, that there be a 300-foot buffer from public and private schools. And I also wanted to make mention towards the end of the proposed ordinance language, where we're trying to regulate these new businesses coming to town, we are suggesting that there be a special use permit, so that if we have someone who's licensed to retail sell cannabis and or hemp, the low potency hemp, that they have to fill out an application and come before city council and plead their case if they want a special event. We don't think that's cumbersome. We've done that for individuals who want special events, whether they are serving alcohol or not. So we tried to conform with that. And then also, we have a municipal liquor store in this city. So we, like many other cities in the state of Minnesota, we drafted some language in this ordinance that says that the city's municipal liquor store may, not will, but may be a cannabis retailer. They already do have a license with the city, like many others, to sell the low-potency hemp or THC products. But we just wanted to make it clear to you and to the public that we did put that language in there. That allows then us to all revisit that issue, the may, with respect to the municipal liquor store in the future. I think it would be remiss for me not to mention in the ordinance language, it does establish the Robbinsdale Police Department or their designee to do the enforcement per state statute, just like they do for on and off sale liquor or tobacco. Again, the goal is to keep this out of the hands of minors, individuals under 21 years of age. And so that means they do compliance checks and want to make sure that whoever are selling these products, even if they have a license and a registration from the city, that they are indeed selling them to appropriate individuals. So that's the overview. I did catch 2 typos within the last couple of hours, and I want you to know that Tim and Mary and Chase have been very helpful too in making sure we get this right. But if I could, I'd like to bring those to your attention, and I would request that you incorporate those changes into your first reading. And then if you are comfortable, I would suggest you approve the first reading of the ordinance, and then we'll take this up again in May. So here's the typos. They were under the section, it's called actually 1165.04. It pertains to the minimum buffer requirements. Right now, I'm going to read it. It says, the city of Robbinsdale shall prohibit the operation of a cannabis business located within 300 feet of a school. Guess what? It should have said cannabis and lower potency hemp retail business. So if you wouldn't mind if we add that back in there, the low potency hemp retail, because you have always told me as a city council you wanted the cannabis and the low potency hemp retail to be treated the same with respect to the buffer. And then the paragraph just below that, again, this is under minimum buffer requirements. It says the city of Robbinsdale shall prohibit the operation of a cannabis retail business located within 500 feet of, and it says another registered cannabis retail business. That was a typo. It should just say 500 feet of another. So strike that A, please. That's it. So I think that's pretty good. I think we caught the typos, I hope. So with that, I would recommend approval of your first reading, and certainly stand for questions, and we should allow you to discuss.
Excellent. Council, anything to ask or discuss here? Comments?
I guess I have.
Yep.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Greenberg?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one question to clarify, because it does say in our packet about repealing 1160. We're just authorizing 1165. We are not repealing 1160 right now?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Councilor Greenberg, thanks for clarifying. When we drafted the agenda last week, we did think that it would be important to repeal the THC. Having conferred further, though, today with our legal counsel, and knowing as of today where the OCM, that's Minnesota Office of Cannabis Management, is with respect to their licensing of the THC, our attorney recommends we hold off on repealing anything pertaining to THC for now. So that to me means probably within the next month, 2 month, 3 month, we'll come back and then make that request. I guess she didn't see any harm in us leaving it in there as long as we keep moving forward, though, with the rest of this. And Tim, did you have anything further to add to that?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Greenberg, if I may, thank you, Ms. Rand. Certainly, I think we're still alive after that. One of the bigger issues with repealing 1160, we went back and forth on this, and as noted, offer my thanks again to council for their patience in this one, very fluid situation. The primary concern was more related to, well called out in the new language, our ability for enforcement, including compliance checks, as Ms. Rand mentioned, the concern of ensuring that minors don't have access to these types of products. That was very explicit in the 1160 language. We believe it was captured in 1165, but this just gives us duplicative area to ensure we maintain that accessibility. So again, in those conversations as late as this afternoon, staff was in agreement that for now it makes sense just to keep 1160 until the state goes forward with their licensing process.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I would add one more note here. I believe it was in the staff report, but do want to call out. Part of your city charter, section 3.12, when amending zoning ordinance, it does require a 4/5 vote. I know we had talked about this in some meetings prior. So if you look at the back end of your ordinance, you can see 1165 is sort of one section, and then when we get into 520, 521, et cetera, that's more related to zoning. So to move forward, we do require a 4/5 vote.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to point out, as I know from the work session, and keep me honest, but the state tells us that if we go into the business or allow this business to happen here in Robbinsdale, that for every 12,500 residents, you must have at least one retail operation, right? And we have over 12,500 by just a hair, but that means we must have two, right? I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that for everybody who's listening. And
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor, members of the council, that is correct.
yep, great. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the first reading? Sorry, what am I approving here?
If I could, Mr. Mayor, yeah, you're accepting the first reading
Yeah.
with those, the cleanup up, the typo and adding
Thank
in
you.
the buffer language that I had referenced.
So is there a motion to accept the first reading with the mentioned edits?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and again, our city clerk and I will publicize this in the newspaper and post it, and we'll bring it back to you hopefully on May 6th.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, under new business, is setting upcoming special work sessions, dates and times.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. We have two items here for your consideration. We've talked about these at a couple of work sessions. A little bit easier to do in some of the warmer months, especially Public Works. As a newer council, a newer group, certainly we can do some of these things individually, but as a collective group, for you all to be in the same place, hear from leadership at the same time, ask questions while together, we are required to post these as public meetings. So traditionally, we've done them as work sessions, properly post, ensure that if the public does want to attend, they can. What we're suggesting are both regular meeting days, Tuesday, May 6th and Tuesday, May 20th. Council convenes at 6 p.m. For May 6th, we're recommending 4601 Hubbard, or the Public Safety Building. We get you a bit of a tour on both sides of the building, both the police and fire, see some of the equipment, see some of the work that's been done in the last couple of years. And then Tuesday, the May 20th work session would be 4601 Toledo. That's, of course, the Public Works facility. That, as much as anything, as we continue to move forward in the process of looking to see what a new facility might look like, I think it'd be helpful for you as a group to see the current state that things are in and the current needs that we're going to be asking for as we go forward. So certainly happy to take feedback on those. Those were proposed in prior work sessions. Some like they were for at least most of the council. Again, some of these things can be done individually, but the benefits of having the group together does require us to set them in special work sessions. So staff, as always, is happy to respond to questions, comments, or concerns.
Council, any questions, comments, or concerns?
Look at my calendar, yeah.
I'll comment. I did kind of related, unrelated. I did a couple of ride-alongs with the Robbinsdale Police Department here about a month back, and got a tour of the facility. They're really packed in tight, so I think it's going to be an interesting tour. And I'm excited to see the Public Works building, just for the very fact that I want to see what's on the inside of that, because I know it's in rough condition, and we need to consider a new Public Works building, if nothing else for safety, but for all the equipment we have to maintain. So I'm looking forward to the tours. So thank you, staff, for setting that up. Any other questions? questions? Okay. Is there a motion?
Those times work for me, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. And it works for me as well. So,
I move that we set special work sessions. One for Tuesday, May 6th at 6 p.m. at 4101 Hubbard Avenue North, Robbinsdale. And another one on Tuesday, May 20th at 6 p.m. at 4601 Toledo Avenue North, Robbinsdale.
I'll second.
great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. The ayes have it. All right, in other business, voucher request pending approval for disbursements. I don't know, I always feel like I need to give you a chance to talk about this or we just move it on?
Mayor, Council, you don't really need to give us a chance to introduce it. We certainly can, but I guess we're just asking to make a motion and approve the voucher disbursement report for tonight.
All right, so to be clear, in the future, you just want me to just make a motion and we'll just move on? Okay.
You can ask for a motion in the future, yes.
Super.
I'll make a motion to approve disbursement request for the period ending April 15th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor, even have a third. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. The ayes have it. All right, next item, administrative reports.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Maybe coming to a close on my reports about the new service with Republic, but I wanted to give a few updates while I still have people's ears. So I wanted to let people know yard waste collection started this week. I know mine got picked up, so it's been successful so far. Reminder that people can put out the yard waste bin that was provided. On top of that, they can put out 5 additional bags for their yard waste collection. So just want to remind people that that started so they can do that. I know I did see, there have been past yard waste bags that were out from last year, so I encourage people to just continue to put those extra bags out as the weeks continue in order to, kind of get rid of what they had from last year. So, but it started, so that's good to hear and good to see that it's been getting out there. I've heard some of the organic bins from curbside are still out there, so just wanted to let people know that they are picking them up throughout the month of April on Wednesdays, so people can either put them out there and leave them out there, or if they prefer to just bring them out there each Wednesday, they can do that too. So throughout the month of April, they'll do that, so if you don't get it picked up tomorrow, try again the next week, and hopefully they'll get it picked up for you. There are still residents that have old waste management carts, so if you still have them, I just encourage you to reach out to the city. We're happy to set up a time for those to get removed for you. Just let us know. And then also, if people are experiencing errors in sizes or too many carts or not enough, certainly keep contacting the city so we can help you with that. If you do want to change sizes to your cart that was delivered and it was correct, we're still asking that people just wait till after April 25th so we can get through any errors or corrections that needed to happen. So, but so far, I think what I've experienced in terms of customer service dealing with the team has been really high-functioning team they have over there. So if you do have any problems with collection or missed pickups, they've been very responsive. So I encourage people to also contact their team for those types of issues. And those are my updates for tonight.
Mr. Mayor, Council, a few quick updates from me. Just want to note to folks, now's a good time to stay in tune with some city communications. We got a lot of fun events coming up, sustainability green events, including Arbor Day, the paper shredding event, compost giveaway, a community cleanup day, Walk with the Mayor is coming in early May, bike rodeo May 1st. That's something that we partner with some other communities. And then when we jump into summer, it's a lot of stuff. So it's either specific to Robbinsdale, our recreation, or a lot of the agencies that we partner with. Some fun stuff coming. Do want to share my thanks to folks that came out to the extravaganza over the weekend. Another great turnout. The weather always helps for that. So always fun to see the number of people that the chamber puts through in an hour is incredible. So thanks to them for hosting. Thanks for the community for showing up. I guess the last I want to note, the open book value appeal process that's hosted through the Hennepin County Assessor's Office, something that we used to host traditionally some years ago. either at City Hall or as a part of City Council meetings, and we didn't get people to attend those. So they're spread out throughout the community. We have all those dates posted, including some online options to make accessibility a bit more easy. So if you either have questions about the process or any of those dates, please just reach out to City Hall and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction.
Excellent. All right. Council, general comments, communications, anything you'd like to bring up?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor.
You don't
Thank you.
have to.
Well, I didn't know who was going, so
Councilmember
thank you,
Wagner,
Mayor.
please.
So we're not going to be meeting again for another 3 weeks. So May 1st, International Workers' Day. Want to just recognize that. Look for events around the metro. Show your support for working people, and also, just hope everyone has like a safe few weeks and all that stuff. So that's all I have.
Excellent. Councilmembers Blackledge, Greenberg?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for the extravaganza as well to the Chamber of Commerce. That was such a fun event. I think my children had a great time, and a lot of the kids as well too, and this families overall. So it was a really fun time, especially with the weather being the way it was. And then as we prepare for this recognizing holidays and things coming as well too, those that recently passed as well as coming up. Just hopefully everybody has a safe holiday season as they prepare for the way they celebrate and express that. So. And once again, as I remind you, as we're moving forward into the spring and summer seasons, say hi to your neighbors. Make sure you say hi, smile, shake hands, greet. We're all in this together. Thank you.
Similar vein, the extravaganza event was great. It was amazing to see all the turnout. Ended up volunteering a little bit, so that was super fun. But thank you to the city and all the volunteers as well as the Chamber of Commerce for hosting really a great, just this very classic Robbinsdale event that's unique to us, and all these kids were so happy. So it's really a cool thing. I want to remind everybody it's tax day. So if you are listening to me right now and you have not filed your taxes, please get that done. And then just with respect to holidays, happy Passover and Easter and however you celebrate, and enjoy spring. That's it for me.
Excellent. All right. Well, I will also comment. I did not make the extravaganza, but I'm super appreciative that we do this as a city. I think it's pretty cool. Also, the Lions group, which helped out and volunteer. I know they play a big role in a lot of events here, and they like to volunteer. So I think we got the world's best Lions recruiter here sitting in the audience. So hats off to you, Mom. So other than that, happy Passover, happy Easter. We do celebrate both in our house, and happy spring. And like Raymond said, get out and meet your neighbors. We are fortunate to live in this amazing community, and really it's a good group. So I'm thankful for all of you, and thankful for all of you that attended and all that are watching. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no or nay. Meeting adjourned.